What's up, everyone? It's Tyler. A lot of people don't know what Maine is like, so I figured I'd give you a little background as to what I did growing up. First of all, everyone has to, every once in a while, if it gets super cold, they have to kind of go into a hibernation type state. While we were in our hibernation lodge back in 1997, when I was born, my mom actually gave birth to me while she was in hibernation. So I was alive for 2 days outside of the womb before anyone woke up and started to take care of me. So that played a big part as to why I'm not very smart or funny. So then growing up, there's no such thing as I think they call them like school buses. There weren't enough other kids for school buses to be necessary. So it was more like a fleet of snowmobiles. You would put like 3 or 4 kids on one, and an adult would like drive it to school. Then we'd just hop off and go into our school. And our school was this little one room log cabin. It didn't have a bathroom. You had to go outside to use the bathroom. So this little one room cabin, it was heated by a wood stove. So it was nice when you got to class early, because then you could get a seat next to the wood stove. If you were on the other side of the room, a lot of times you could get frostbite. I actually have a friend who lost part of his pinky one year back. I think it was like '05, but he lost his pinky because he was sitting on the opposite side of the room as the wood stove. So it was very important for us to go to school early so we could get a good spot. Another thing we did, we don't own dogs in Maine, actually. A lot of people think there are dogs in Maine, but that there aren't dogs in Maine. There are in the summer when tourists come and they bring their dogs, but other than that, the locals, there's like nobody owns dogs because we don't have enough food to feed them and also survive ourselves. So actually, instead of dogs or cats, we actually have pet moose and deer, and so they're able to fend for themselves mostly, so we don't have to feed them. We had this one pet deer named Claudius, and Claudius was like, he was the best. Like, he didn't trust many people, but he trusted me, so I would take him on his leash. I would walk him down the road. I remember this one time we were walking by this kid's house that I didn't like, and Claudius, with his antlers, he ran into their mailbox and knocked it down. So, I mean, I don't know why they had a mailbox anyway. It's far too cold and snowy for mail to get from other states into Maine. So any mail is usually hand delivered between people, and it's only within Maine that people send mail. Another interesting fact is that in school we didn't really learn that much like math or science or anything like that. Most of it was learning how to read and also how to be a lumberjack, because everyone in Maine is a lumberjack. If you work, you're a lumberjack, and if you don't work, then usually you're shunned by everyone, which means that you'll probably starve or freeze to death whichever comes first. I started my training to be a lumberjack when I was 4 years old. I think was the first class um, I went to was when I was 4 years old, and I actually cut my first tree down. It was only about like this thick, but I cut my first tree down at the age of 5. I mean, I would call it a family business, but really it's a state business because it's the only way we can build shelters for ourselves and have wood to burn in our wood stoves and our fireplaces. Really, anything that's not made of wood is actually imported during the summer when tourists come in July. It gets up to like 30 to 40 degrees in our summer month. So other than that, like I really didn't do much as a kid. I knew how to ice skate, and people down here think that's cool, but like that's how I got around a lot of the time. Like the roads would ice over, so there weren't any cars. You either used a snowmobile or you skated places. So I would skate to my friends' houses. Yeah. Another thing a lot of people don't know, and this is the last thing, I promise. I know this video is getting a little long, but another thing people don't know about Maine is that we're constantly in a war with the Canadians because a lot of people think that Maine is in Canada, but it's technically still part of the United States. So basically, the Canadians are trying to take over our land, and so since like day one, I was taught that you should always watch out for the Canadians, or they'll come steal your stuff. Actually, my sister had a pet moose one time. His name was Timothy, and Timothy actually got killed. He got stolen and then killed by the Canadians. So he was a good moose, but like he didn't deserve to die like that. Um, I guess I mean like I don't know any Canadians because like we didn't associate with them, but the Canadians basically spend all their time trying to take over Maine to annex us into Canada. So a lot of people don't know that, but just stay informed because there's a civil war going on between the the Mainers and Canadians. And since we all intermarry in Maine, we're actually all technically family. So basically, there are cousins fighting other cousins. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about Maine. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section, and I'll do my best to answer them. But other than that, I hope you guys have a nice day.